Okay. Thank you all so much for joining me on Laws, Life, and Health. Let's talk about it today. Before I get started, I need to pray. Okay. So, Father God, we just come boldly before your throne of grace. We thank you so much for just being in our life. We ask that you just lead us through this discussion, me and Joshua Pondexter. Lord God, I just pray that all of the people that are listening, Father God, you allow them to take in the information that they need so that they can apply it in their life and just ultimately be financially successful. God, so we pray for financial health, financial security in our lives, in our businesses, Lord God, in our careers. And we just ask that you allow us to spend our money appropriately, allow us to spend whatever percentage we need to in our life so that we will be overcomers in life and financially healthy, Lord God. So we just ask that you just lead us in the name of Jesus Christ. Let your will be done, not ours. In Jesus' name, it is still in your atonement blood. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Excellent. Yes.
All right. So thank you all so much for joining me today. I have Joshua Pondexter with us today. He is going to be directing us on financial literacy. He's going to be covering some topics of credit restoration, including but not limited to some money myths, and also the right type of investments when it comes to the way you spend your money. Mm-hmm. And so let me go ahead and give the floor to Joshua.
Hey, thanks, Deanna. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to share. I've been around the financial sector for 3 decades, over 3 decades. And one of the interesting things, I'm the original side hustler. I started selling life insurance back in 1986. And I was working a corporate job. I was an engineer for the Army. And so I did that. I had life insurance. Before I started doing that, I sold window tinting, had a little window tinting company, had lawn care. I thought I wanted to be an entrepreneur and didn't know what I was doing. I quit my job with the government and soon went back to work, right? So I kind of like those life insurance checks, so I kept selling life and health insurance as I moved around the country from Arkansas to Indiana to Illinois. And so when I got here working for corporate America, of course, and it was my side hustle, we began to understand after time, financial products are good, but that's only half the story. You need some information. You need to know how they fit into your portfolio of life, right? You need to understand money. You need to understand credit. And so those are some of the things that, we're going to talk about this evening and educate your audience about those very important topics. So whenever you want me to go, I could start with my PowerPoint presentation because we'll start with money myths. There's a lot of myths about money, right? So
yes.
So where we start is with the psychology of money. So and that's our thinking, right? How we think about money, how we feel about money. It can either build you up or it can destroy you,
Yes.
How I feel about it. The love of money is the root of all evil, right? We don't want to love it, like it a little bit.
Okay.
Right. So let me share screen here and we'll talk about these myths that in the ether that are in our environment. Some of them we embrace, and if we do, we need to get rid of them. So let's go slideshow. Let me go from the beginning. All right. The biggest money myths. So let's look at the biggest ones. We'll start with those. The first one, rich people are crooks and evil, right? So this is certainly not true. I was looking at, you familiar with the city of Gary, Indiana, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how did Gary get his name? The guy that started U.S. Steel, who built that town, it was a steel town, that was his name. His name was Gary. So the city was named after him. So that's what entrepreneurs do. They build companies that build cities. Walmart, you can go to a little, can't think of the place in right there in Arkansas, but they built that whole town, right?
Sam Walton.
Sam Walton, but
Yeah.
the town that they're in, I should know because I'm from Arkansas. It's not on the tip of my mind, but they have built the corporate headquarters is there in Arkansas, in that little town. That little town is doing extremely well, right? Bensonville, something like that, right? So rich people are not crooks and they're not evil, right? Not the builders. There might be some one-off. So this is a myth that we need to put aside, because if you think this is about being wealthy, that you got to be a crook, you got to be evil, you never be rich. Wrong mindset around money, right?
Yes.
You get rich by saving money, right? So that's virtually impossible unless you were an NBA player with a $20 million a year contract. So you could live on 1/3 of your money. You can pay your taxes with 1/3, then you save the rest, right? And you did that for 10 years, you'll be rich. But if you, a typical American, 95% of the people in America make less than $50,000 a year. So you will not get rich saving money. You need to have a strategy. And rich is fine. I seek financial independence. Financial independence is have enough money so you don't have to go work, you don't have to go bed, you can pay your bills, you can take vacations, you can travel. So that's where you want to be. Financially independent, where it could happen at age 30. It could happen at age 40. It doesn't have to be at 65. You can get rich, financially independent. That's that myth of saving money. You're gonna have to learn how to invest. You're gonna have to learn how to invest in real estate or the stock market or business or something if you want to get rich, right? So if you have any questions and thoughts, please chime in for me.
Okay, none so far.
Okay, excellent. So there's another myth. The more money you have, the happier you'll be, right? That's absolutely not true. There is a diminishing return after a point in time. If you like chocolate, and you got the best chocolate in the world, and you eat 10 pieces of it, after a while you're gonna get sick of that chocolate, right?
Yes.
So same way with money. It has a diminishing return on happiness, right? So I'd rather have some than not have any, but don't look for money to make you happy, because we see people with a whole lot of wealth doing a whole lot of silly things because they're not happy. They're getting hooked on drugs. They're seeking thrills that they shouldn't be seeking because they're searching for happiness. And like you started the conversation, joy is in the Lord, right? That's where
Yes.
I have to come. It doesn't come from money, right? I don't want to be poor. I want to be like the prophet said, God, don't make me so rich that I forget about you, or make me so poor that I curse you. I want to be right there in the middle. All right. If you want to get rich, you need a big salary. The reason that this is a big myth is because the more money you make, the more money you spend. So that's a law. It's called Kirchhoff law. In order for you to get rich, you're going to have to break that law. Most rich people have a very low salary. So what they do, they have assets that take care of their living. Say for instance, there's a couple of brothers that own the Ritz-Carlton, right, all over the globe. They live in the one in England. So they live on the property, they eat on the property, the transportation company vehicles, when they fly to another Ritz-Carlton. Trust me, they don't take any money. So that's a really big model, but you can run that model on a small scale, right? So you don't need a big salary, because the more money you earn, the more taxes you pay, right? So it's a balance. What you need some assets, you need some real estate, you need some dividend yielding stocks, you need a business that can pay you, and then pay for a lot of your expenses, right? So you don't really need a large salary. After $100,000, 200, most folks that I know that do very well in their business, $1 million, $2 million in a small business, max out. They're gonna max out at $250,000 a year in salary, because after that, the write-offs and deductions lose out, right? Get watered down. So this is a myth. You don't need a humongous, you don't need $500,000. You don't need $1 million a year, because the only thing you're creating is more taxes, right? So this is definitely a myth that we could put to bed. With high risk always come high reward, right? This is definitely another myth. Sounds good. I got to risk it all. I got to shoot for the fence, right? Got to try to hit a home run every time. That does not work in real life. I was listening to Mr. Wynn, who built the Bellagio and the Wynn and the Encore out in Vegas. That's what he does. He built billion-dollar hotels. He was saying that when people say, well, how are you so successful every time with such, it appears to be money, all this massive money on the line, these employees, all these people you're about to employ, how do you, how you win time and time again? He said, what my team do, we plan. Our plan is so tight. Once we get it as tight as possible, then we plan again. So it's all about planning. So the plan is so tight, we might look at this plan 1,000 times and revise it till we get it to a state of perfection as possible, and then we pull the trigger. So with high risk always come a high reward, that's absolutely a myth. You want to, whatever you do, you want to plan. You want to set goals, you want to plan that reward, so that risk. So it's like going to the casino, right? That's food. It's like putting your money in the stock market and not knowing how the stock market works, right? That's too high of a risk. So if it's like, I don't know, getting married without any premarital counseling, that's a risk, right? So whatever you do, get some counseling, get a plan to minimize the risk, and you will get a reward. You need to be rich to invest, right? You don't need to be rich to invest. If you make $25,000, $35,000 a year, you must save 10% of your money. That's how you start. You start with 10%. Every dollar you make, a dime belongs to you. So if you don't know how to invest, I have clients that are starting out in investing. So I said, hey, here's what I want you to do for 12 months. I want you to take that 10% and put it in a savings account. Show me you can be disciplined for 12 months and save up enough money. And then we'll talk about where we need to invest it. Do we need to invest it in an index fund or other type of mutual funds? Or do you need, if you're a stock person, you need to buy some stocks? Or do you need to keep saving for another 24 months, 36 months for a down payment on a piece of real estate? So you don't need to be rich, but you're going to have to start small, and you're going to have to start. So the rule is that if you have earnings, every dollar you make, a dime of that belongs to you. It don't belong to the mortgage company. It don't belong to your rent. Don't belong to a car payment, your clothing. It belongs to you. That is your money for you to build your wealth with. Starting small. It takes money to make money. Another myth. It takes money to make money. We just hear this time and time again. Well, it doesn't take money to make money. You can actually go get a job, right? You can actually trade your time for money in the beginning. That's the way you can start. I was telling you that I started early on in life, thought I want to be an entrepreneur. I quit a job that people would die to have, right? And so I'm going for it. If I was smart, I would have stayed on my job and started that business part-time, right? So take your job and fund your business, fund your wealth, fund your investment in stocks and real estate. So that's what you do with your job. Jobs are good, right? And I would advise that you stay on them for at least a decade and learn the discipline of going to work every day, things of that nature. So it takes money to make money. No, it don't. You can go get a job and start making some money, right? Getting money with your tax return is a good thing. So here's another myth, and I have clients that will say, hey, well, how much did you get on your return? Oh, well, every year we get 4,000, 6,000 back, and they think that's a good thing. And I said, actually, all you did was give Uncle Sam an 18 months tax-free loan. You could be using that money for your lifestyle, children activities, for funding your retirement accounts, building a business, instead of giving that money to Uncle Sam. So here's what's very important. Most people don't know how much money they leave with Uncle Sam. Only thing they know is that I got a return of $4,000 or $5,000, and at least I didn't pay. You need to pay close attention to how much money that you're leaving. So because if you make $50,000 a year, Uncle Sam has a $15,000 lien against your check, right? And so you paid him $15,000 in state and federal taxes, and you got $4,000 to $6,000 back. Is that a good deal? That's not a good deal, is it? No, it's not good. You can talk to me. That is not a good deal, right? More money, more problems. Another myth. Well, when you get more money, you're not going to have more problems. You're going to have different problems, right? So if we were saying my recommendation, if you want to get wealthy in a working life, 20, 25, 30-year period of time, you need to live on 26% of your income, right? So if you made $4,000 a month and your lifestyle was $1,000, this is a problem. The problem is, what am I gonna do with them $3,000? That's a good problem to have. That's not a bad problem. So more money, more problems. Myth, more money, different problems. Good problems to have. Where did I save and invest all this extra money that I have? Instead of, I am not buying cars and clothing and taking unnecessary vacations and trips and things of that nature. My problem is trying to figure out where I can put my money and grow it and invest it with the maximum rate of return for me and my family, right? That's the problem that I want. Retirement is the gift for working hard for your entire life. Serious myth, right? Most people, 65, 67 years old, they retire. A few years later, they're dead. That's a problem. So retirement is not an age, retirement is a number. So it's important that you figure out your numbers, right? So you need to know, so if it takes me $5,000 a month to live, currently today, 10 years from now, 10 grand. 20 years from now, 15, 20 grand. So this is how you figure out what's going to be your lifestyle in the future. And then you say, well, okay, I need to put together $1 million, $2 million. We're using round numbers to make it easy. So 10%, so $2 million, 10% return. That's $200,000 a year that I get to live off of. So the sooner I hurry up and build that cash account, so I can retire, right? I can retire. Someone has a hand up, right?
Okay, yeah, I apologize. I actually got kicked off of the system, so you didn't get kicked off at all.
No, I've been going.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No. So retirement is not an age. Retirement is a number, right? So if once you figure out what your number is, I need $1 million. $1 million at 8% is $80,000 a year. You can live with that, right? How long is it going to take you to build $1 million, right? Cash, and we're talking this specifically cash. So if it takes you 10, 15, 20 years, so be it. So if you throw in some real estate in there that's generating another $2,000, $3,000 net for you a month, oh, you can see how you can put those dollars together so you don't have to work to 65 and 70 years of age. And if you continue to work, it'll be your choice. So retirement is not an age, it's a number. Money doesn't grow on trees. Well, it's a myth, because we're so far removed from agriculture that we don't know if you had an orange farm, you can make money. The hottest product on the globe now, which in Mexico and in other places in South America, the cartel is trying to take over, is avocados. Avocado farms, people are stealing water to grow avocados from one another. They're forcing the farmers, the cartels to pay them rent, money. They kidnapping the farmers. So money does grow on trees. It just grow on trees from agriculture, right? From products like I just said, the avocado, the hottest fruit or whatever, because they had a seed on the planet. Everybody, even Asians, like the avocado, right? So if you, so money doesn't grow on trees. So here's a tip for you. The United States government and the tax code, they give subsidies. That's for you to invest in agricultural stocks, right? So agricultural stocks, you get a subsidy. They don't subsidize you for investing in Amazon and Google and all those type of high-tech stocks and medical stocks and things of that nature, you go like, well, I'm getting 10%, 12% return on these stocks, right? They're on fire. But those stocks that agricultural, they're only paying 8%. They only pay 8%, but they come back to you tax-free. So you want taxable income or tax-free income. That's the beauty. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's a myth, because the agriculture industries are subsidized by the United States government. And if you invest in those type of stocks, specific type of stocks in the agricultural sector, in the energy sector, you can be subsidized by the government, and your money will grow tax-free.
Recording in progress.
The best things in life are free. The best things in life are free. Okay, let's look at that. It's true in the beginning. Air, breathing air is free. Sunshine is free. Your loved ones, the love of your mother and your father is free. The love of your spouse, your children is free. It's a myth, because let your mama get sick, let your child get sick, and you don't have any money, you got a problem, right?
Mhm.
So everything takes money. So nothing is free. As though we understand the gist of that thought, but as soon as some money is needed, college education, clothing, transportation, all those things cost money. And you know, they are the best things, but they're not free. You're gonna need
That's
some
right.
money. You're gonna need some money to help your mama, your daddy, your spouse, your children. It costs. Cash is king, right? It's a thought about that, because companies do keep cash, keep you some emergency fund, definitely keep you some cash. But the more cash that you make, all you're doing is producing more taxes for yourself, right? What the rich do, they use debt, right? They go buy $1 million, 10 million. And what they do, they go and buy assets, things that bring passive income to them, so that they can write that stuff off, not pay taxes. When you're earning money, you create taxes. When you utilize debt to buy assets, you are tax-free, right? So big deal, right? But it's a shift, because the majority of us have been trained to go get educated, go get a job, go earn as much money as possible. Boom. And no, that doesn't become king. Or if you want to be a king, a queen, you need to get you some debt and buy assets, not debt and use it for frivolous reasons, but to buy some assets. Time is money, big myth, right? Time is not money. We exchange time for money, but time is not money, because if I gave you $1 million today and told you you will die tomorrow, you would not take that $1 million. There's nothing more valuable than time and health, right? So those things are not even in the same universe. Give me more time, right? Steve Jobs, the Apple guy, he wished he could have some more time with all that money he had, right? No. These are two different things. You cannot take it with you when you die, right? Myths. We're talking about big myths. So this is a myth, because you can take it with you, because if you leave some money, you will be remembered by your heirs, your children. If you donated to charity, maybe they'll put your name on a wall or a plaque or something, right? So you can be remembered past your debt if you do something good with your money, like donate it to a cause, set your children up so that they can have a better financial future. They will put a picture of you in the house, right? So that's a myth. You can take it with you, right? So I think that's all of them, the money myths that we wanted to cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a question here. He's this person's Susie or Sussy is asking, what do you think about the taxes in Miami that they will increase 1.2%?
Okay. So this is city taxes, or you're talking about the state of Florida, right? So because and then I understand, city taxes. Chicago taxes got some of the highest taxes going around. So that hurts, right?
Yes.
That's why, and so we cannot be. You're talking about Miami. She's talking about Miami because Florida doesn't have a state tax. That's why people move to Florida, right? So if you were in New York and you were a high income earner and you were paying a state tax, because they have a progressive, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. So say, for instance, you were paying 10% and you made $200,000. That's 20 grand of taxes that you paid for for New York City, right? And then you moved out of that city. You got some, and then you got some city tax, that's state tax. Then you moved out of that state and go to Florida. You just saved $220,000, right? So now she must be talking about they're going to increase the city tax, right, on the people. So, well, it just depends on who you are, because there's a lot of wealthy people in Miami, right? And so those people have tax attorneys, or they have people that are knowledgeable about taxes, because tax reduction is not just for income taxes. You can there's tax strategies for sales taxes, for property taxes, excise taxes. So if you're having a tax problem, I suggest that you get you a competent tax professional, right? Or you can contact Joshua Pondexter. And because we got to see that taxes is a real problem all over the globe, but that's why people are moving to Texas. From California, they go to Texas because there's no state taxes, right? They go to Nevada. Those California and New York have these progressive tax systems that the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. And if you move from one of those high tax places and you were paying $20,000, $30,000 a year just in your state taxes, that money come back in your pocket. I just had my cousins, they retired and moved to Florida. It's like, yeah, we got a pay raise, right? Moving from Indiana, moving to Florida, 6-8% pay increase and pay raise. So you're probably talking about a city tax that they penalizing you for, and I'm not aware of it. I would have to look at, you have to tell me specifically what you're talking about. Then I'll have to look if there's any ways to minimize that, right? So not enough information to really answer that specifically, right? But I get the gist that she's talking about what's going on in Miami-Dade County, right? That they're increasing. increase in that. So, okay. So yeah, taxes is a big deal. So money myths, right? So we want to shift our mindset about money, so that we don't have any of those myths in our ways, and we can get very focused on money, because money answereth all matters, right? That was Solomon said, the wisest man ever lived, right? And so was he true? If a baby born, sprinkle a little money on the family. They had a death, they need a little money, right?
Mhm.
Child graduation, they need a little money. Getting ready to go to college, they need a little money. Every occasion, money can answer, right? Yeah. So as
Well,
long
I
as
think God is the one who actually answers, but he opens the door for us to be financially healthy. And so that's really important.
yeah.
I have a couple of questions for you about the money myths.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, so I know that you had actually talked about passive income.
Mhm.
And so passive income is a way to earn money.
Mhm.
What are some ways to be able to create these sorts of passive incomes that
Okay.
you will recommend?
There's three
Okay.
that works for the wealthy, right? A business,
Mhm.
real estate, and dividend paying stocks, right? So when we look at and so those are the three. Most wealthy don't have all three of them, right? So when I look at the wealthiest families in America, and we look at their portfolio that they have, most of it is their business and real estate, right?
Mhm.
So now everybody can't be a real estate magnate, right? So maybe you want to, invest in a REIT, right? Which is a real estate investment trust, right? You can in that specifically those funds invest in real estate, right? But I encourage everyone to have a business. This is you can control your taxes with your business. You can build something where you leveraging other people. When you start employing people, that's what your government wants you to do, and they subsidize that by giving you tax breaks. So a business, real estate, dividend paying stocks. Those are only three that are time tested, right?
Okay.
Yeah, not network marketing.
Not network marketing. Okay. Well, the same person here is asking, they say, thanks a lot for this answer. So if I want to invest in real estate, how much do I need to earn to get a good credit? Plus, how much do they need to earn? But I wanted to know specifically, I know that you said business, dividend, income. What about, I know you also talked about the, having certain other type of investments. So like in stocks and stuff. So what do you think about, after you answer this question for this person, I wanted to know about E-Trade. So E-Trade is a very, efficient way to invest in stocks. What do you think about that for a good investment?
Okay. Am I answering that first question?
Yeah, you can answer the first one.
What was it? What was it? Tell me the first question again.
The first question is, if I want to invest in real estate, how much do I need to earn to get a good to get good credit?
Where's that person? Is that the Miami person?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, you're not in Arkansas. So how much money you need is definitely based upon where you buying real estate. In Miami, real estate is expensive, right? So in order to qualify for $1 million property, you're going to need, and that's going to be, say that's $4,000 a month, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? So multiply that times 12, you're going to need $12,000 a month to qualify for that $1 million loan, then it's preferable that you have at least a 720 plus credit score so you can get the best interest rate possible, right?
Mhm.
So now if you buying property, $150,000 properties in Georgia or other places in Florida outside of Miami, you're not going to need that much income, but we want you to keep that credit score high so you can get the best interest rate, right? So if I would say that if you're going to buy a property, you're going to need 2 years of verifiable tax return. You're going to need some cash reserve. The lenders want to know at least you have 3 months of mortgage payments that you can make once you secure the loan. So you need some reserves, and you need that 720 plus credit score. So those are the fundamental pieces without looking at specifics. Like you told me, if you would tell me this is the property I want to buy, I want to buy a multi-unit, so is it a 5+ unit? So that makes it commercial. You're gonna need 20% down payment. So we have to look at the specific, and then we'll have to look at the income, because the income works with personal residence. When you're buying commercial, there's something, there's an equation where they can look at, is it cash flowing? You got leaseors, renters in it already, that can aid you also. So it's a very specific question to what you're trying to accomplish, what type of property you're trying to buy. And I mean, by property type, is it a 1 unit, 2, 3, 4 unit, or is it a commercial unit? That will determine how much money you're going to need, but you're going to need at least verifiable 2 years of tax return. Okay. Right.
Okay.
So E-Trade, buying stocks, right? So
Yes.
So, there are people who that's their job, right? So when you buying stocks, actually what you're doing is you're buying companies, right? So you want to be a Warren Buffett. That's a Warren Buffett. He don't invest in stocks. He buys companies, right? So when you buy a company, just like buying a piece of stock, you look at the invest or not. You think my business has a future? You see that? You see Sussy?
Yeah.
They off the books. They paper off the book. Yeah, crack killed your game, player. So so if you're buying any company, you want to look at their financials, right? So that calls for you to be able to read a financial report. So I know, hey, we know we like Coca-Cola, we like Disney, we like McDonald's, things of that nature, things that have been performing year after year and probably will be generating money forever. Because if you have a baby and they get 2 years old, you can't drive by McDonald's without them not
Then, yeah, that big old
right.
M sign.
Right. Yeah. So so the big right. So whatever platform you decide to use that you get comfortable with buying your stocks, I think it's fine. But when you buying stocks, you need to have some understanding of what you're buying, because you're actually buying something. You're buying a portion of a company, right? So this is how companies raise money. They issue stocks, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a company, Stone Consultant LLC. So you see it back there, right? Stone Consultant LLC. And if you want to buy some stock, I'll sell you some stock in my company. So I definitely, that's why I'm bullish on getting your own company. And you can sell stock in your company. It don't have to be registered. It's private stock, right? There's a lot of companies like that. So before I get too far going with my jokes, to your, specific question, is that whatever platform you're using, apparently you like E-Trade. I have money with Vanguard, so I'm kind of locked into them. So there's a lot of different platforms, but whatever you do, take some time and get some knowledge. You can take an online course, how to read a financial report, right? Because you want to see how these companies are doing. Kmart used to be around, they gone. Sears used to be around, they gone, right? So these companies can perform year after year after year, and then they're gone. Right? So, and then your stock turns to junk, right? So, but if you're buying stocks and you have a portfolio, right? You need to have an idea of how to design a portfolio. So once you design your portfolio, do I have bonds and stocks, mutual funds? And then it's, what percentage do I have in each location? So I got, depending on my age, I got 60% in stocks, I got 40% in bonds, right? And so my stocks shoot up and overtake my bond and makes my portfolio out of balance, right? So some people get greedy, called American greed. They get greedy and say, "Oh, I'm gonna ride these stocks." No, there's a thing called asset reallocation. You need to reallocate those assets so that you still got that 60-40 mixture, right? So you need to bring some of that money from the stocks, put it in the bonds, so that when things shift, you still have the balance, right? There's a guy called Ray Dalio, 40-year history in the business. He only had 2 years of negative returns, and that was in 2009 and 2010, when people were losing 50% of their portfolio, 70%. Some clients were. He only lost those 2 years. He lost less than 3%. The guy is magic, right? So he has what's called a all-weather portfolio, and has been back tested for 100 years, how it would perform, right? So this is the type of information that you need if you're trying to, go forward. Of course, there's people who, actually sell these things. So we sell them, we'll say, past performance is not indicative of future returns, right? That's the caveat. But the reality, it's a good indicator, right? Yeah. So if you go back 100 years and look at how things are growing, the American economy, you're a young person. I'm not so. I got some time on the planet, and I can look over the last 40 years and see where we have grown, right? And now what it took to do for 20, 30 years is happening in 12 months with technology changing the way it is, right? So whatever you get involved with, get some information, right? Get some competent help. Okay. All right. Next question.
Yeah, so now I know that you talking about the mutual funds, some stocks and bonds and stuff. So everyone who's interested in sort of understanding how to read a financial report. I know for me personally, I have been a moderate investor, so I have invested in chocolate. I know that chocolate is something that is a high demand around Christmas, Halloween, including Mother's Day, right? And so those type of stocks are really interesting. And so when you think of stocks, they're more like, a lot of times they're seasonal, depending on depending on what you're trying to get. And so I wanted to just know, to help the people out that are not so much aware of how to read a financial report. Do you help them understand what is on when you say financial report, are you saying their like SEC filings, their annual income statement, and their annual report? Is that what you're referring to? Right.
All that information, right?
Okay.
So here's the deal is, so you told me your strategy for investing, which is good. And your strategy should be long-term, right? Because when you look at the psychology of money, and these studies have been done on investors, people who stick to a strategy win more than people who start a good strategy and stop.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't think of it that way.
Right. So you need to have a long-term view on where you're going, 20, 30 years, right? And so I do like the fact that, you definitely invest in what you like and what you see, going on in the marketplace, but you need to have a long-term strategy. And when it comes to, reading a financial statement, I think that helps you with your financial literacy, understanding the lingo, things of that nature. But you never know what's going on in them boardrooms.
Yep.
Yeah, what
Okay.
what they talking about. But it's good for you to get familiar with the language, because there's a whole language of investing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So get familiar with the language, so you can and the reason why I say get familiar with the language, so that you can choose an advisor, right? So you can talk to them, because if you go talk to a surgeon, you're out of your depth. He's not going to dumb down, right, to talk to you.
Well, I mean, I understand. So like, when it comes to investing, I know pretty much like a lot of stuff when it comes to investing and how to be an aggressive investor. You need to invest in mutual funds. But this, I'm more so thinking about the people who are just, making a certain amount of money. They don't really know how to invest or where to start. So what is your advice for them? And they are trying to actually go and make their first investment someplace.
Okay, yeah, no, absolutely. So when we're talking about the beginners, we're definitely thinking about the small investor. We're thinking about an annual income threshold, all of that. There's a guy named Warren Buffett. They call him the Oracle of Oklahoma, right? I'm Joshua Pondexter. I'm the Oracle from Arkansas. And we both recommend that you index fund, right? That's where the small investor is best served in index. And I'm bullish on the S&P 500 index, because it's a composite of the largest 500 companies in America. And so that means that you have the 500 smartest businessmen in the world, women, working for you on those companies. It's not an actively managed account, so there's not excessive fees. Most of the fees on an index fund is less than 1%, right? Some of them, I like Vanguard because they 0.5%, right? So it's 0.5%, as opposed to actively managed mutual funds. Those could be as high as 1.2%. And then when you go buy some, they normally put you in a portfolio of 10 or 15 of those guys, right? So if you have a portfolio of mutual funds of 15, each one of them have a 1% fee, that's 15%, right? So no matter what the market does, if the market's return 30, you only get 15, right? In the index, if the market returns 30, I'm getting 29.5. You see? And then when we look at portfolio managers, right? 90+% of them don't even outperform the S&P 500. That's the benchmark. So, and sad to say, I got a workshop up on YouTube where we talk about the financial institution, and that most money managers and mutual funds, they don't have a dime of their money in it. Not a dime, right? Those actively managed accounts. So your small investor normally take your $2,000-3,000 to open up you with a broker's Fidelity, Vanguard, open up an S&P 500 index and start a couple of $100 a month, right? And rock that and don't even look at it. We get a statement. Don't look at a statement. Put it in the drawer, right? And open that last statement up. 30 years from now, you'll be rich.
Okay, it sounds good. Just a couple $1,000s to start and invest in the S&P 500 index through either Vanguard. Now I've heard of the Vanguard. I used them before for retirement a long time ago. So they're really good on a fees and everything. So
I like to I like to do this real time. I got a calculator here.
Okay.
All right. So let me get my financial calculator. Gotta find it first. Come on. You're gonna get them 2 hours out of me anyway, aren't you?
Wait. I didn't know that we were gonna be
No, this is good.
Be asking all these questions. Sometimes I'll be asking a lot of questions.
Let it flow. Let it flow. I'm here now. So let's see. Compound interest. So I start with $3,000, right? I got a monthly deposit of $200. The S&P 500 in any 10-year clip of time average about 10% return, right? 30 years is what, 360 months?
Yes.
I calculate that. At maturity, I have $515,000.
Okay.
I only put in my total principal I put in was $75,000. The interest that was made was $440,000, right? So here's what's happening is when you invest in index funds or mutual funds and the market is returning 10+%, and you are doing this on your job through your 401k year after year after year. And when you retire after 30 years and you got $300,000 and you've been putting $400 and $600 a month in there, somebody been in the pot. Somebody been stealing your money. That's what Wall Street do. They steal your money with fees, trillions of dollars of fees. So if you're going to deal with these vultures, you better know what you're doing. Or that 515,000, you're gonna have 120. They're gonna have the rest. Your money.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's serious. It's serious business. 401ks, they're laden with fees. Most of my clients, what I do is we'll find that S&P 500 index fund in there, and we'll just put it on automatic pilot, right? And then get yourself a Roth, right? And if they have a 401k that have a Roth 401k, put it in the Roth. Because same example here I'm using, that $75,000 that we put in, we got $500,000, and you have it in a retirement account. Uncle Sam has a 33% lien on that $500,000 in taxes. So he's going to get more money back Because all that 75,000 that you put in, he only gave you 25,000 in tax savings. Right?
Okay.
Oh, it's
So
a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wicked game, and we don't know the rules.
Yeah. So two more questions.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Okay. Now I know that I don't really have a problem with IRA and the retirement stance to investing, but I was thinking more so I had previously considered annuities. What do you think about annuities?
Well, I sold them from 2002 to I retired from that in 2019. That's all I did was I rolled over people retirement accounts into annuities, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, when you're trying to you're trying to grow money, this is for preserving your money. So you got $2, $3, $4 million. We want to preserve. It's already locked up in qualified money, right? So you want to move it over where you want to get a tax implication and then live on it, right? A lot of my clients, they don't, actually need it to live now. Maybe when they're 75 and older, they might need to pull a little bit because of what they're going to have get required minimum distribution. But a lot of them have saved that money for their children, right? And so I know you don't have problems with qualified plans, but I do, because there makes no sense in saving 2, 3, because if it's $1 million, that's at minimum $33,000, $333,000 that Uncle Sam has a lien against your money that you have saved for him. You can save that same pot of money in a non-taxable account that you can take money out of it and not pay taxes on it. So tax-free at retirement account is what allows you to stay retired longer. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, I wish I was there, at that point where I could say, okay, that $1 million sound good later on, don't it? But it takes a lot of discipline to have that type of structure in your life. I know. Okay, so this is the last question. I know that you said something about buying debt or get debt to buy assets. So how do you actually get debt to buy assets?
Good question. So you start small. You can't start like Donald Trump or Robert Kiyosaki. They got hundreds of millions of dollars of debt. Netflix, I did a workshop, it's up on my YouTube channel, that talks about the debt that Netflix have. These companies have billions of dollars of debt that they use to grow their business and not pay taxes, right? So say, for instance, the Susu, the off the books person, if you got $100,000 cash and you wanted to buy real estate, right? You can either buy you $100,000 property and start renting it, to make money, right? So cool. Or you can take that $100,000 and you can buy you 5 properties at 100,000 and take 20 grand, put it in that one, 20, 20, 20. So now you got 5 pieces of real estate, and 3 years, 5 years from now, it has some equity to grow. Then you're going to take another loan on your assets, right? All right, and pull 250. Let's say you pull $250,000 out, is not taxable because Uncle Sam just see a loan. That's a small start. Now you have those 5 pieces of properties in an LLC, and they cash flowing, and you got good credit. You have some assets because you started small. Then you can go to the bank and maybe get you $1 million loan, line of credit, and start buying you for. That's the way the little guy starts, right? At the bank, because banks don't fund business, it's too risky, right? 77% of all businesses are self-funded, right? So if you got a great idea, you can go to those angel investors. You can go to what's that show Mark Cuban on, Shark Tank type people,
Oh,
But banks, that's not the business that they're in. They're not the business of business. Most business are going to fail in the first 12 months. So the banks you're not getting money from the bank. Put that out of your mind, right? So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to start slowly and progress. There ain't no overnight success, because number two, I did a workshop called 3 Things You Need to Be Successful in Business. One, you need to be from privilege, mom and daddy rich, or you went to the right university and made the right connections, or you need to be a crook, or you need to.
that's not good.
No, you need to be lucky. None of that crook. None of these companies are crooks. They getting caught all the time being crooked. We're not trying to be a crook. I'm saying those are the 3 keys to being successful in American business. But if you a faith-based person, a Christian, stuff like that, you ain't looking for that model. You better work on the model of luck, because you're not privileged. Mom and daddy don't have no money. You didn't go to Yale and Harvard and things of that nature. So luck, and you can make your luck by hard work, right? Work hard, make your own luck. But there's no $10 million loan from the Small Business Administration. You got a complexion problem. They ain't giving it to you. So you're gonna have to build this thing organically, right? It's just sad to say. It's a sad reality for Black Americans, but they are not giving us money, because why are you gonna fund your own enemy? No, it's not. No, it's not happening. So if you want to build something, John Johnson, you know how he started his business, Ebony Jet.
Oh, how did he do that?
He sold his grandmother's antique furniture. She believed in him. She said, boy, take this, right? And he did right by it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Walt Disney, he sold his house, started his business, right? The bankers, the lenders, no, that's not the business that they're in. They're in the business of tricking us to make us think that when we put our money in their bank, we're making a deposit, right? We're saving our money. No, we're investing our money.
Yeah, you're investing, right?
So why is it that when you give it back to me, it's a loan? Come on, it's just language, but this is how they make their money. They take our deposits and then they lend it out, right? So now they just can't be lending it out willy-nilly, especially not to business people, right?
Yeah, I believe according to the Federal Reserve, they're not allowed to distribute more than 5% per every 25,000 or something like that. So every 25,000 that is deposited into their bank, according to the Federal Reserve, they're able to invest that money into other things, but they do promise that when you need your money will be available to you. So I forget specifically what that is, but I know that whatever you put in the bank, they can invest up to 5% of every 25,000 that is deposited into their bank.
So let me tell you how the banking system works. This is though there are these rules, right? Mm-hmm. So the banks, when they take deposits, they have to have like you're saying, a reserve threshold.
Yep.
Life insurance. When they write insurance policy, they in Illinois, MetLife, all the billions of dollars of insurance that they have to have $1 billion of cash reserve in case there was a catastrophe, right? So they very smart business people. They working with hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. So they only need to make 2 to 4% return for their profits.
Right. Yeah.
So now here's the deal. When they do loans, when they do a car loan or a mortgage loan, they can take that to the Federal Reserve and multiply it by 10, 100 times, right? So you got a $100,000 mortgage, the bank can take that loan because they got you on the hook for 30 years. They can take it to the Federal Reserve and get $1 million of cash. This is how they operate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great. America is $31 trillion in debt, right?
Yes.
You think I don't think that's a big deal. Look at.
I do.
I'm gonna tell you, it's not a big deal. Have you traveled across America? Have you seen how beautiful this place is for $31 trillion? The roads, the bridges, right? The infrastructure, the trains. That's what that investment goes into.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but I also understand that there should be better financial management. You know, if Americans are required to pay their bills, our government should also be required to pay bills.
What bills they're not paying?
Well, there's a debt ceiling. There's so much money that is owed, you know, to other countries. Just think about it. That's not cool. I think that with America being the way that it is, we should be able to be a little bit more financially efficient than what we are currently.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how efficient we are. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
$31 trillion in debt. We generate $26 trillion a year out of this country, right? The world only generates $52 trillion. The most of the money that's generated in the world comes out of here. And 60% of the world is on the American dollar, right? They got our money. So,
yeah.
So, man, come on. We're running this game.
Yeah, I get that, but see, I'm a conservative libertarian. So, you know, I don't have the same beliefs as the Republicans and the Democrats. I just believe in portions of it, you know. So I think that we should be more financially efficient than what we are. I think that we could be doing a lot better. Yes, our country is somewhat have been thriving for a long time. But I mean, at this point, at 2023, we have so many different opportunities where we could just be really thriving much more efficiently than what we are. We have some great economists who has been given some great advice that, you know, government officials are not always learning from them or absorbing the information that they're suggesting. So I just think that when you think about it, you could take everybody else's money in the whole world and still not going to eliminate the debt ceiling of the United States. So that's something that Elon Musk said. And when I saw that, I was just like, okay, well, you know, he could be partially correct and then not. So I don't want to really get into the politics.
That's cool. Elon Musk is benefiting from this, right? Because he's a government contractor. I do agree that there is a significant amount of waste going on and what they call it
wasteful
pork.
Spending.
It's called it pork projects to shift money to your friends and to their companies and stuff of that nature, right? Skimming off the top. Yeah, that's just corruption, right? Yeah. So the thing about it is that the problem is that we have too many people left behind in the country.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so because of the waste and the skimming and the greed, Elon Musk can't, I don't know when him, Warren Buffett, none of those guys, I would listen to anything that they say. They don't even pay taxes, right? They don't even pay their fair share. So get out of here. What you got to say? You got nothing to contribute to this conversation until you start paying your fair share of taxes. Mr. Warren Buffett, Mr. Elon Musk, Mr. Jeff Bezos, taking trips up out of space. What are people that could feed? No, they ain't got, I don't even listen to them. When they get to talking about all that stuff, what? Pay your taxes first.
Okay.
Yeah, pay a fair share. They don't do it. They talk it, they talk it, but they're not doing it. So, but for us, the commoners, which I am one, it's important that we get a vision for where we want to go financially. And if you're trying to be a decimillionaire, you're trying to be a billionaire, my content is not for you. I'm not on that planet, right? I'm just trying to show you how to retire well, with,
Okay.
$2 in your pocket where you're not struggling and you're not being a greeter at Walmart. You're working 30, 40 years out of your life and still end up broke. This statistic, Deanna, hadn't changed in time immemorial in America. At age 65, 95% of the people out of 100, if you take 95 out of 100, 95 of those people are dead broke. They're dependent on Social Security. They're depending on relatives. I'm talking about after working years. I know people that work good corporate jobs, but their spending habits, they won't get to that 26%, right? They're spending out of control. Every time you see them, they didn't spend their whole life stamping passports. All right. So that's financial literacy. Basic fundamental stuff. Watch your money, watch your credit, keep your lifestyle low. Then, when you, and take care of yourself, eat an apple, walk around the block. And so when you get my age, you can enjoy if you got a few dollars in your pocket. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I really enjoyed that part. I find that was plenteous. You covered a lot of information when it came to the money myths.
Yes. Okay.
And then the investments. That's really good.
Yeah.
So did you want to continue on or?
No, well, hey, it's up to you.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to investing, I definitely believe that the biggest investment is in yourself, right?
Yes.
In your ability to earn money. So I used to do, as I'm a salesman, that's my core. So I used to sell stuff that will make me $400, $600 a transaction, right? And then I started selling stuff that were making me $15,000, $25,000 a transaction, right? Same guy, same ugly face, skill here, the 4 inches here had improved monumentally. So I can transform from selling products that paid $400, $600 a transaction to pay tens of thousands of dollars a transaction. So you need to invest in your ability to earn money. So if you're making 25, find a way to make 50. You're making 50, invest in yourself to make 100. You're not a bad person because you make 50. You might be a leader at your church. You might be a wonderful husband or wife, and your kids love you, and you bake cookies for the PTA. You're a beautiful person, but the market only pays for value, right? They only pay for knowledge. All right. So if the market determines your value. So because you're $50,000 value of $50,000 in the marketplace, don't make you a bad person. Everybody love you on your block, you know. And so that's just, she's Sister Teresa or whatever. I don't know. But she only make $35,000 a year. The marketplace don't care about that. They care about the value you can bring to the marketplace. So it's not far-fetched to say that I invest 30% of my earnings into my abilities. Right?
Okay, that's good.
So books, webinars, seminars. I'm supposed to be at a seminar now in Austin, Texas, but I'm on standby for some other stuff. So invest in yourself. And you know, you're familiar with the concept of 10,000 hours, right?
Explain it.
Yeah,
to the
10,000
audience.
hours to master something. You need to you want to be a master tennis player, golfer, public speaker, salesman, engineer. You need to invest 10,000 hours into your craft. And then the market will render you with rewards, right? So whatever you do, I'm telling you, you can be a janitor, right? I have known, you can be a housekeeper. I have known people who, they put wax on floor like nobody, right?
Masters at it.
Yeah. I met guys that, I swear it was magic what they did with wood. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to master, you got to get world class at something. So you got to be disciplined with it every day, practice every day, get good. And this is what I'm talking about, investing in yourself, knowledge, time, and you'll be surprised. That's if you want to be at the top of your craft. So then you might not have to invest in real estate and stocks in a business. So if you start making $200,000-$300,000 a year, just stay in that same old house.
Right. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And keep your expenses low. Put your little money over there, safe in annuities.
Right. you laughing about the annuities.
I told them. I used to roll over retirement. I'm telling you, I roll over retirement, 7% commission. I roll over $1 million at 70 grand. Bam. This ain't, this is not hyperbole.
Right.
Stuff I did for years. Sold annuities. I love them because they pay.
I was a national producer too. I was actually the top rep for life insurance. Life and health. Yeah. So I worked at Fidelity, but more on the brokerage side. Yeah. So I understand how lucrative it is. And so it's just all about establishing that rapport. And I really enjoyed the way you expressed about investing in yourself. It's so important for people to understand that you have to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, no one else is. God sees you as great. You need to see yourself as being great. Go out and do something. Whatever it may be. Even if you go sell bottles of water, that food for less on 71st, you get 3 cases of water, 35 bottles for $11, right? Go out there and go get you a cooler. Sell you some water.
I have so much respect for them people. I got respect. Yes. Stock sellers, I got mad respect. You're right. Yeah. Because they understand return on investments. They're merchants, street merchants, if you will. They go buy some products and they sell them. And the danger is standing out there in traffic. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna sit here on my computer and sell, but they out there on the streets, right? They get hit by a car. Anyway, invest in yourself. I sold fixed index annuities. I started selling them in 2002. This product became sold to the masses in about 1998. Right there. That's how I knew that product was when I started selling it. So what a fixed index annuity was, when Tiger Woods win a purse for 5 million, 10 million, you don't take that to the bank, you take it to the life insurance company. And they had these special annuities for them, right? Fixed index annuity, where they would be investing in the S&P 500, right? And so when they made it to the masses, they kind of broke them down a little bit, but that's good. I have had clients, I sell Allianz, ING before they was Voya. I have had clients get 15+% return in a fixed indexed annuity.
That's good.
Yeah, that was back in the beginning. So now they don't, so they know how to cut them, because that's another, we could talk about that offline, but the company definitely have models. They have actuary scientists that they're very good at rearranging the pieces, how much the company gets, how much the sales agents get, how much the customers get, right? So there's only one pie, and those are the 3 people that it goes to, right? And they're very good at moving that little 3-card molly around, insurance companies, and a master of it.
Yeah. Okay.
And a master of it. So invest in yourself, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Invest
Okay.
in yourself. Yeah. So, we're getting ready to wrap up. So we got another questions?
No, I think that was it. I know you talked about the agriculture subsidies. And so what about the subsidies that the government give you for agriculture? How does that work?
Good question. So the government, 99% of the tax code is for business owners and investors, right? So if you have a business, an LLC, and you invest in real estate, right? So the revenue that comes back to you, passive income, you can actually drive that down through your shadow depreciation on your real estate, cost segregation, which is separating the land and the fixtures. So there's some wonderful things that you can do with real estate and reduce, and so that all that money that comes back from your real estate is tax deferred, right? I mean,
Okay.
tax or tax free, right? Now that's a sector, real estate. Other sector they want you to invest in is energy and agriculture, right? So but there's specific sectors. You can't invest in a company. You can't invest in ExxonMobil. You cannot invest in Nicor Gas. You can, but they're not going to give you a subsidy for it. But the equipment that they use to explore for gas, those are the companies that they want you to invest in, right? You can invest in agriculture, right? But you're not investing in Cargill, right? But you're investing in the equipment that builds agriculture, right? So there's very specific stocks, and so you invest in those stocks through your company. And so all the costs of investing, if you hire an investment advisor to invest your stock for you in those particular areas, come back to your tax-free. Of course, municipal bonds, right? Local, state level, those type of tax-free bonds. So when you're investing, you're not trying to create more taxes, right? Charity, right? So if you, I write my contribution to my church from my my company, right? So I'm able to write off 100% whatever I give, right? So say for instance, I give $10,000 a year. If I did it personally, I will be capped on how much of that I can write off, right? But since my business is donating to a non-for-profit or for charitable causes, 100% of it is taken off of my expense ratio. Right.
Oh, that's good because usually that taxation is only up to $300.
Right.
You only get
right.
a
But yeah. Right. So
yeah.
you cap.
Yeah, it's capped at 300.
Right.
So
Yeah. So
okay.
that's part of my series. I teach on tax-free living, right? How to set up a life and operate as a company where and all the things you invest in, you're investing in the things that the government wants you to invest in. Oh, I like chocolate. Yeah, I like to eat it, but I don't like to invest in it.
You don't like investing in it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I like
Why?
eating it because the government is not going to subsidize that
Oh,
activity
yeah. Okay, so you only gonna do it unless you're getting a subsidy for it.
from the government because
Yes.
I'm not smart, I'm not brilliant, I'm not a rocket science. I'm only doing what my government want me to do. How
And
easy
so
is that?
okay, and so that is only gonna be investing in the energy and different agriculture that's going to produce the energy and the agriculture because
Like
those
there's specific segments of it. You're
yes.
not going to invest in Nicor gas and
Yes.
those companies,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
you're not going to invest in
ExxonMobil, like you said,
yeah,
we're
or,
going to invest in the makers of those
right, like
energy.
Elon Musk, that he has a company that makes solar panels, right?
Mhm.
So that's clean energy, right? Now, Tesla, that's something different, right? But those type of and by the way, I just started last year a green energy company. So whatever you do, you want to do it from a business perspective, right? Do what your government wants you to do.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not being smart. It's not being, oh, he's not lucky, he's so brilliant, he know how to pick the right stock. No, I know how to not pay taxes morally, legally, and ethically. You see, they stopped going after Trump on his taxes and try to get him on this little
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
thing, right? Because they've been combing his taxes for years. They had him. They ain't found nothing.
Mhm.
And he said, I paid less than $700 out of the hundreds of millions of dollars I made, ran through my hand. I only paid $700 in taxes. They ain't got him. If they had him, they would have got him, right? By now, you got all those forensic accountants going through these tax returns. You didn't have them for years.
Mhm.
Yeah. Game on. The game is on.
Yeah.
Like Sherlock Holmes saying, the game is afoot. Yeah.
All right. Now, so I appreciate you coming on the show. And so I know that unfortunately we wasn't able to go over the credit
Yeah.
repair and stuff, but I've posted your information on the blog Financial Literacy already.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And if you would like to come back on, I would like to have you. This is a very great, interesting conversation. I'm sure that a lot of people have benefited from it.
Okay.
And so, whenever you have the time, I would like to have you back. Okay.
Okay. You only do evenings?
Yes. At 7.
At 7
Yep.
o'clock. Okay. All right.
So just be in touch. Let me know
I will.
whenever you can come back. And because I think credit repair it's nice to know the investments, but it's equally important to know what type of credit you need. And so many times people have credit scores of 300, 400. It's not going to get you anywhere. So the number one thing that I know for sure is that you need to have good credit in order to stay afloat in this world. You want to have good credit where you can go and get what you need in this life.
I did just maybe this week I did I think it was Wednesday, my topic. It's up on my YouTube channel. That personal credit in the African American community is a social justice issue, right?
Yes, I
Out of
remember.
all the races, we have the lowest credit profile, right? And that has a lot to do with financial literacy, right? Has a lot to do with how to manage credit, how to use credit, right? And it has a lot to do with income, because you find that the people with 800 plus credit scores, or the individuals that have $100,000 plus of income, right? Because they can manage it very well. If I spend $3,000 this month, I can pay it off before it's due, right? So I done used it, I paid it off, makes my score look perfect, right? I'm always getting compliments from Experian and Credit Karma that my credit profile is in the top 3% of people, that because the way I keep my utilization low.
Yeah, see, I have a problem with my utilization.
Right.
My utilization, it goes
Yeah.
from like 80% to then once I at the end of like towards the end of the month, I'm paid everything and now it's at 30. But then
So-
again, I go right back in and now I'm at 80, 90% again every single month.
So
So
let me tell you, here's the deal. When anytime that you over 30%, it's like a late payment to the credit.
okay.
And a late payment is sometimes 60, 80 points to your score.
Yes, you're right. Because
Yeah.
my score just went from like 770, 780 into now it's like 6 something. Like the high 6 is 704 or something like that. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense just because of utilization. So I'm like, I'm ready to just pay off a couple cards and then just get it over with, because utilization is causing my credit score to go up and down strips.
Because you don't have bad credit, you just have a bad score. Because you're paying your bills on time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it is. And so that's the master of the credit, right? Credit. So I don't use my debit card, right? So everything I pay, I got three cards I play with. Boom, 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 boom. Gas, utilities, this here, right? And so boom, I play with them, and then I pay them off, because that's the cash I got for my living expenses anyway, right?
Okay, you right. You
Yeah.
right about that. Yes.
So I don't use that debit card, right? So yeah, we better stop, because it's going to be hard to transfer this big file over to you, because it's coming to my computer. I think I might have to send a WeTransfer.
I save it on cloud. It should be on cloud.
Oh, you saved it?
No. I have cloud Zoom. So I pay about additional 50 a month for the Zoom webinar.
Okay. Yeah.
And it goes directly to cloud.
Okay.
So then, I don't have to do anything besides copy the link, and once it downloads to the cloud, I don't have to do nothing.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. No, I could save it to the cloud. Normally, I have over 2 years of Zooms, 2.5 years of Zoom on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Workshops I have did.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So normally I don't record them, because I charge people to talk to me. So.
Okay. So so now we just collaborated. That was good. Thank you for that. I appreciate it so much. And just to let you know, if you need me to come on as a speaker about any type of topic, I'm familiar with a lot of different things. I would consider myself to be, I guess, an expert on a lot of different topics. So just let me know if you need me to, and I can collaborate.
Yeah, so my lives are Wednesday at noon and 9 a.m. on Friday.
Okay.
Other than that, I make videos on my cell phone and put them up to TikTok and whatever, Instagram. I just try to keep them 3 to 5 minute little, videos.
Snippets. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So now I just started doing shorts on YouTube. So YouTube. So you gotta stay in a minute. So you gotta be be ready to go. Okay. Miss
All right.
Watson, we appreciate you. We had fun.
Yes, we did. Okay. So let me go ahead and pray. All right.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Father God, we just come boldly before your throne again. We thank you so much for just being able to have Joshua speak today on investments, and we just pray that the listeners and the entire audience was able to receive the information, God, and just be able to look into making investments for themselves and investing in their lives, God, because it's important for us. Because you see us as being great. You say that we're more than conquerors. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, God. So allow all of us to just see ourselves as being great. Allow us to invest in ourselves. Allow us to financially appropriate our money and everything so that we're making the right investments into our lives. God, we just need you. So continue to inspire our choices, influence our decisions, but most importantly, God, we ask that you let your will be done and not ours. In the name of Jesus Christ, it is sealed in your atonement blood. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Okay.
Good.
Well, thank you.